you're a pro at this. Like, I've been having all kinds of computer glitches all night long, as you see. What is one of the things that you tell yourself to stay motivated, to stay driven? Like, you are where you're supposed to be, regardless of the snafus that happen.
One of the things is that I have a gift, and I have something to say, and I have something to put out there. And if there's a snafu or something happens, dust yourself off and try again. Like, just continue to work at it, to hone in your skills. And things happen, and you can't beat yourself up. Like, one of the things that when, working in the industry, I've had dead air, I have all, different things. But that's why I said it's important for you to learn the job and to learn how things work, because when something does happen, because it's not a question of if it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
When it happens, do you know how to recover from it? Do
that
you know
part.
Right, and not let it get you down. You got to learn how to pivot, recover, and then keep it moving.
Okay. I love your answers. Like I was saying before, my computer just decided to come on. I started seeing you on social media well before the interview, and I was always intrigued.
Wow.
Like, you're about that action. So, and speaking of about that action, you were moderator for the Illmatic 20 Years in the Game Infliction Composition panel. Which female emcee inspired you the most when you did that?
Oh, I'm a fan of women in rap. I love them. I want to say probably Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah.
I love Queen Latifah. I love how she has taking hip hop culture and rap culture and has become a cover girl, has become this world-renowned actress, how she does her community efforts, how she managed to reinvent herself. And she's not your typical, like, she is an authentic woman, right? She is not what the industry wants women rappers to be right now, and she came out and she was able to still be herself and carve out her own lane without doing what the industry wants women in rap and hip hop and just entertainment to do. So I would say Queen Latifah.
Yeah, I love Queen Latifah, and I was MC Light when don't let me get hoarse, get laryngitis.
Right. MC Light too.
Yes. So now you did another project. Tell me about the production that you did. Like, you produced a movie or a film.
Yeah, so that was kind of my claim to Baltimore, the Baltimore hip hop scene. I was working in radio, and I was seeing that there was stuff going on in Baltimore, but what I realized is that the music scene and the radio and that industry was not connecting, right? Yeah. So and the hip hop scene was like, why don't the radio station give us any love? And I knew that I wanted to be a bridge to bring what was going on in the local scene to what was happening on a national scene. So I decided to create a all-female documentary called Even a Man Can Do This. It was woman produced. It was everything that you could think of as the credits were all done by women, from the score to the videography. Shout out to Emotion, who was one of my partners in this, and all of the women MCs who helped put their story to my documentary. And so that was my let's kick in the door, like, how am I going to carve out my own lane within the industry? And so I was like, I think I'm gonna do a documentary and go around the city and put a spotlight on the women who were doing hip hop at that time. And this was happening in 2007.
Wow.
And this was right. It was, and this was when, pre-Nicki, this is when women in rap was very few in between, especially coming from that era of when we grew up with your Queens and your MC Lights and your Queen Latifahs and your Lauryn Hills. And as you notice, there was a silence, with women in the industry on a national level. But here in Baltimore, women were like doing the damn thing. They were the authors. They were, like I said, making beats. They had their own shows. It was just like the women were running the scene, and I wanted to document that.
So would
And
you,
I did.
I'm sorry.
And I was like, and I did document that.
You did the doggone thing. Like your doggone accolades are it's laundry list. Like
Wow.
I was like, where does it end? Where does it end? And you're still doing great things. And that brings me to my next question. Now, did both of those projects provide insight for your latest manuscript? So tell us about that.
It did, especially with my second chapter. And it's my second chapter, I dealt with women in hip hop. And that was basically, you know, the chapter is called, so there's 7 lessons that I talk about within the book of what I learned from hip hop. And one of the things is the power. I don't know if you can curse on here, but the power of the P.
I see
right?
that. Okay.
And I'm not just talking about on a sexual level. I'm just talking about how we exploring women's role in hip hop culture. So I learned that from doing the Even a Man Can Do This documentary, just seeing how women are able to use their femininity, their grind, their hustle to carve out their own lane in hip hop culture. So that's one of the books, you know, that's one of the chapters I talk about just women in hip hop. And I'm really giving my all to women in hip hop and just telling them that I appreciate them, because really as a Black woman in America, I think that women in hip hop allowed me to see what womanhood was about, instead of what mainstream media was trying to say about Black women, you know, the Jezebel, the Mammy, and all of those stereotypes. But then here you have women in hip hop who were coming in and was like, nah, we not none of that, you know, we not having none of that. So they taught us about, you know, just the branding and the community and just what it was like to define womanhood for ourselves.
You know, and I think that was the most interesting thing about Salt and Pepper. Like when you thought about the image of hip hop, theirs was quite different, but they told stories through their rhymes. So you're absolutely right about that. I like in your book how you're very detailed, very thoughtful. So it's not just you saying, these are all the things that's wrong. These are all the things that I'd like to see. You're telling it from your perspective of how hip hop raised you up. So, and in that, when you met Raw Digga, and I can't even imagine meeting MC Light and her doing that to me, like, not what I do that at. So what was that experience like?
It was, at the time, it was heartbreaking. You know, Raw Digga was one of my favorite. I mean, she was raw. Like, when she came in, it was like, oh, she a spitter for real.
Right.
And at that time, I had dreams of becoming a rapper. I thought that's what I was going to do. It was me and my high school friend, Kame, who goes by More Mother Goddess now, and she's doing her thing as an independent artist, and she's like blowing up and everything. And we was like, look, you know, we're going to get in front of Raw Digga and we're going to rap and she going to sign us. And so we're standing outside, you know, at the radio, her meet and greet, and we got our posters, and we get up there and she's like, y'all buy my CD? And we was like, nah, we just really came to, you know, to check you out. We want you to hear us rap. And she was like, I ain't signing nothing. And then, you know, me and the little hothead, I'm about to, you know, the next thing I know, her bodyguard scooped me up and like, and I was like, oh my God. Like,
it was a situation.
It was a situation. Like, I'm like, I got thrown out of a Raw Digga signing, like she signed me. Like it was crazy, but I still vibe with it. And that was just the beauty of the industry, like just those stories and being able to go and see your favorite artists at a record store. Like when they don't do that anymore. And then now the meet and greets, it's like, okay, you buy a ticket to the concert and there's a backdrop and you stand there and the artists come, you take a picture, you go about your way. So that's, you know, at that time you was able to really talk to the artists and, you know, I guess if you bought their CD, but
well, you had to. That's why I was at the record store.
Exactly.
Like, that was my first time meeting, I think, DJ Clue. It was one of the DJs from Def Jam, and I worked at a record store, so I was afforded many opportunities to meet and greets and just be in the hoopla. So, you made valid points. Very thoughtful read. Like I said, the chapters I delved into. But tell me about Money Attracts Money, the economics of hip hop.
The economics of hip hop, it's all about how the industry is an industry of entrepreneurs, right? I mean, when you come into the hip hop culture, it really taught me how to take my talent and make money from it. I mean, whether that be writing, whether that, writing something, performing, DJing, being a support, like it is really an industry of entrepreneurs, and there's really no set way or whatever way, and we're still coming up with different things. I look at the young kids, I'm like, damn, they really out here balling, they really getting that money. And as I was doing my research, I realized that the hip hop culture is really one of the few cultures when it comes to the entertainment culture where regular people have become these multimillionaires, or or these their entrepreneurship lifestyle is what drives hip hop culture.
Wow.
And then you need money to make money. So a lot of time you gotta, money takes money to make. So that was one of the lessons that I learned.
With hip hop, you gotta eat.
You gotta eat.
Why were you so impassioned to write the book?
Okay, so what happened was I was working in radio, and this was during the Freddie Gray situation, and when we had the Baltimore uprising, and it took me a while to get this book finally finished, in about 2015. And I had said some really negative remarks about the police on the radio station. Here I am, this young, I'm fighting power. I'm like, I got this platform. I'm going off.
Right.
Well, at the end of the day, advertising, and I learned that lesson, runs radio, right? And one of the advertisers did not like what I said. Was like, we don't like it. We're snatching our money from it. And my boss at the time said that I had cost the station a $10,000 advertisement check, basically. And they took me off the air. They didn't fire me because I'm a board operator, right? I know how to work them boards. So they're like, we're gonna just put you on the backside, but no more, you're out. So at that point, this was kind of like the height of my career. I was getting endorsement deals. I was the midday host. I was just doing the thing. I was like, I'm a radio personality. I'm Sif Jones. And I realized that I did not have anything I didn't use my platform to benefit me. Everything that I was talking about was to benefit the station. So I'm like, well, what can I do the next time I get on air? I have to have something to sell. I need something that I can call my own, because when they snatch that platform from you and you're up here and they take it from you, what are you going to have left? What is your legacy? And I said, okay, I don't rap, I don't sing. What I might do some writing, some blogs. I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna write a book because I am a subject matter expert in hip hop culture. And what I know is that when you write a book about something, you become that subject matter expert. There's research that goes involved. There's a lot of things that goes involved that I had to learn in writing a book, which makes you a subject matter expert in whatever you write about. So hip hop culture, I loved hip hop. So I was like, I'm gonna write this book, becoming a subject matter expert in hip hop culture. And that's what really made me write it.
How long did it take you to write the book?
Oh, girl. Way too long. 2015 I started. And what are we at? 2022?
Whoa, that's
finally finished.
Oh my God.
It took a while. Because, like I said, at that time, the Freddie Gray situation happened, and I didn't want to write it was like there was no more thoughts coming in. It was I had to go through that moment and be able to write something about that moment, because things were changing. And it took me so long, because I'm like, oh man, I got to update on what's happening in hip hop now. And oh man, I have to update this, and this is old, and this is this, and this is that. And so it was just so much information happening, and I wanted to capture that until finally just working with, just different authors. They were like, look, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. And you can always go back and do a volume 2 or a volume 3. And so I was like, okay, you know what? You're absolutely correct. It's time to put this thing out. So yeah, it took me a while.
Don't do any more volumes. It's perfect the way it is. Like, I was deeply enamored because it reads like a traditional story, but it's your story. So you're telling lessons through your perception. Like you said, you're an expert by now. You done been through so much. You're an expert at this.
Yes.
So who should purchase? I'm sorry.
And I have to own that, because sometimes, when we do things, we don't own who we are.
That's right.
And I have to own that. Like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna own that.
That's right. Look at you inspiring me. Okay. I'm a blogger, got doggone it.
Okay. Own it.
That part. So who should buy the book?
Oh, this book is really for those who want to understand the hip hop genre from a woman's perspective, and especially a Black woman's perspective. And I want to be able to give this to, I see the age range like 16 to 30, college, lovers of hip hop culture, and just those who want to kind of really understand what it is about, what it was supposed to be about. Right now it's like the wild west, right? And there is a difference between hip hop culture and rap culture. Right. Somehow we've kind of gotten away from the essence of what hip hop was supposed to be, and now rap culture is just running things, right? And it took me a while to acknowledge that rap culture is really not beneficial for the Black community, right. Especially just seeing, the countless deaths and just the music and just, and this stuff is being played on radio. And I'm like, this is like, these are like spells, right? On how to do the most devilish work. And our children are listening to this and are being influenced by this. And I mean, like, let's keep it real. They are being influenced by the music and the culture of rap culture, the negative aspect. So I wanted to create this because this is like my love letter. Like, I grew up in hip hop culture. I'm a 90s baby. I'm an 80s baby, right? We came in right when it was moving, getting things moving. And we saw how it became this billion-dollar industry, and it just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. But us, people of color, Black folks, we not owning it.
That's right.
It's we don't own it, and we created this, and it's what we're seeing that happened to jazz and the blues and even rock music, because there's not too many of us writing books, researching the culture. Like, we need more of that. So I decided to step into that realm and put my place into it.
Right, so it's not obsolete.
Absolutely.
So yes, I love that. So where can our viewers find the book?
All right, so right now you go to sivjones.com, or you can go to Amazon. It is on Amazon. I just talked to my consultant, and it's up, it's ready to be purchased, but you can go to sivjones.com. I haven't officially done the release yet. I'm thinking I'm doing that within another week, but it is available for pre-order. So just go to sivjones.com, or you can email me at civyciv@gmail.com and say, hey, Civ, I want a book, and I can, send you a link. But really, the best way to do it is to go to my website, which is sivjones.com, and all of the information is there.
I mean, I think the book is definitely, it could be for hip hop or just life lessons in general, because you speak
like that.
Yeah, you talk like the P is the power. Yeah, for sure. Okay. You talk about economics, you talk about survival, in business. So I think the book is a twofold book, where it's a business book, and it's also for the hip hop culture. So kudos to you for even creating that and taking the time out to write it in the way that you did. So people like me, who's like, no, I'm scatterbrained, but this is entertaining. I'm gonna read this for people like me. So kudos to you. My next question, and I have one more after this, is very easy. Do you have any tour dates? Like, what else do you have going on?
So I am working on a tour. I am working on a tour, a college tour. Right now, a media tour, Media Blitz. I'm really trying to, reach out to some of my colleagues that's in the industry and really trying to put something together to get me out there. Like I said, like right now, it's a working document. So it's a working document. So not everything is there yet, but if you go to my website or if you just follow me online at Civ, everything is at Civ Jones on my social media network. Everything and anything that I'm going to be doing is going to be put right there.
Okay. So then again, where can readers, or not readers, listeners follow you and just stay up to the minute with what you have going on?
Civ Jones, everything, social media, Facebook, IG, and my website, civjones.com. I've been kind of silent because, like I said, my focus was to get this done. I'm like, I can't even do anything until I get this done. Mm-hmm. So it is done. I'm about to like relaunch myself. So you'll be seeing more of me on the nets, on social media, hopefully on different people's blog posts and radio and TV. So, but all of that stuff can be found at civjones.com, or like I said, on my on the social media at Civ Jones.
And y'all gonna want to buy the book. Y'all gonna want to read it and be immersed, especially people who grew up 80s babies, 70s babies, because you already know what hip hop culture is. And Civ made a valid point about hip hop being different than rap culture, and you'll learn about those differences in the book. So definitely cop the book, follow her, and let's big this queen up. So thank you so much. I have fun.
Thank you so much.